Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Slamfire. We got our little doodads here. We have our videos up on BitChute, YouTube, and Rumble. You can follow us on Gab at Slamfire Media. Go to slamfiremedia.com. We got all the episodes there. So let's get into it. I'm tired of wasting time with these stupid intros. Same thing. I say the same thing every single intro. You guys know what it is. That's why I put the picture up there so you can see what it is. So today we have the Slanted Scholar today. Finally.
I'm finally back.
He's back. The Slanted Scholar. He was out but not gone. He is finally
No,
back.
no, I was doing work, contributing to society.
Being a
Literally,
useful puppet.
yeah, basically. And I don't like it one bit, but hey, it pays the bills.
It pays the bills. That's what it's all about. And you are contributing to society, so you have earned the right to complain.
Yes,
That's
for
the whole
real.
purpose of work, right? Like we work so that we can complain.
Like I have a right to say some shit. That's what's up, yeah. But anyway,
So let's get into it. There's been a lot of things going on. I don't want to talk as much on this time. I want to we'll go back and forth. I hope we have something that we can disagree on because that's what makes episodes fun. But
yeah,
I kind of doubt it. I really doubt it with everything that's going on. It's like all this stupidity is bringing people who are on one side are getting more tightly knit. You know what I mean? Like the two people
yeah,
on,
they're doubling down, man.
yeah, like everyone's kind of hunkering down and getting into their tribes and like kind of like bracing for the impact, right? So it's like it is what it is. So we have the Freedom Convoy. Let me change our
Yeah,
details. So
man.
we got the Freedom Convoy going on in Canada, possibly another one forming
In DC,
in DC, right?
yeah.
And then we have this Biden administration, this former vice president doing absolutely nothing.
No, just contributing more to the bullshit,
So
running us deeper into the ground.
so I'm gonna show this picture that you sent me that I thought was the most ridiculous thing. Oh man, I need to do my displays all jacked up.
So you can't make this stuff up, man. Like this is real life. It's supposed to be parody. Like this would normally be parody, you know? But man, it's just wild what road we're going down these days. It's because we let certain people just like people were asleep at the wheel, you know? They weren't paying attention to what was going around them. And these idiots just slipped into power and started changing things to their will, you know, like to suit their idea of what normal life is, and they're just going crazy off the deep end, with all these crazy freaks, basically. Like, man, I could just, it's ridiculous. It's getting out of hand.
So
And
here's the picture. I got it showed up right here. The picture that you sent me. I got it kind of full screened here so the viewers can see. I don't know. This is you just sent me this like what a minute ago, 2 minutes ago, right?
yeah,
I can neither confirm nor deny the accuracy of this picture. I'm
it's
willing
real.
to take your word for it. This is Twitter, right? This is off Twitter.
I got it off of 4chan, but this is real though, dude. You can look it up. Like I followed a link to it. There's an article of this guy. He has a video of him and everything. So yeah,
Let's do a fact check. Let's do a fact check real
yeah,
quick.
check it out.
What's
Just type
this?
it in.
What's this thing's name?
Just no, I don't know the name. Just type in. Just type in Biden's director of nuclear waste disposal,
Okay,
and then
let's do it.
it'll pop it up. You'll get the.
Okay,
You'll get what you're
live
looking
fact
for.
check. Biden, Biden's, Biden's new waste. Why it should come up.
Director of nuclear waste disposal.
Waste disposal. No, it doesn't even come up. Director.
Yeah,
Okay,
this
so
is
this is off of
legit.
Twitter. I want I want like a EPA.gov. Is there a picture? No picture. They do that on purpose. They know.
Yeah, I'm sure because
Okay, here's
that's
I gotta go to Twitter because that's all that's giving me. So I'm going to Twitter, and here's the same picture that we found. It's like the first thing. So the first comment is this real?
exactly right. This is where we are, though. This is where we are. Our country is at this. This is what we allowed to happen. Like, okay, I'm all for individuality, whatever, expressing yourself, but like these people are mentally ill, man. Let's be fucking real about it. Like this is bullshit.
So
This
this
is just
leads.
gonna lead you down a path of freaking we're gonna lose our shit basically, and China's gonna take over. They're gonna be the number one dogs in the world. But I don't know, man.
This
Well, anyway,
is nature.com. Here we go.
nature.com.
Nature.com. Nature.com, yeah. Biden's pick to head the U.S. No, this is environmental agency. There was a picture of an. It doesn't even have like meet Biden's new. Oh, dude! It like the websites that I'm. Can we show this like on YouTube?
I have no idea.
It's
I mean, I
it's
don't see the point.
it's not bad. Like it's. I'm assuming this is the dude, and he has like minions under him. He has like dudes in like latex and stuff under him. What's this? I
Well,
want to put this guy on blast. What's this thing's name?
hold on, I'll find it out right now because I
Yeah,
had followed a link yesterday and it took me to an article and it had a video and he just talked about his life and everything.
Sam
Um,
Brinton, Energy Department's of Office of Nuclear Energy. Sam Brinton, standing in dress. So this is the dude standing in dress.
yeah.
Sam Brinton. This is insane. Yeah,
I mean, man,
this
this is
non-binary activist explains why pronouns are important. We're not watching this crap.
this is an embarrassment to our country to think that we're gonna have people like this representing us. Like, nah, man, I'm not about this shit. I don't care how bigoted that sounds or whatever. Fuck that. I'm not about it.
Do you think
Bullshit.
Biden is doing this purposely, or is someone working behind? Do you think Biden looked at this person's resume, and said, "Yep, this is the one.
The diversity.
That's a winner."
I mean, did you hear about the new justice that he wants to pick is gonna be a black woman? Like he just right
Yeah,
off the bat,
uh,
black woman. You
yeah.
know what I mean?
I heard. Yeah, it's not. We're not even looking at the credentials of these people. They're just straight
No.
up like it's. We're not basing it off of their career, off of their rulings or anything like that. It's off of skin color, race, and gender and non-gender. Like, yeah,
What they look like and what they enjoy in the bed. Basically that's what we're the road we're going down. Like, oh man,
do
it's
you
pretty
think
pretty dark, dude.
do you think this is new? You think this is something that's new? Has this been going on for a while, or is this new to this presidency?
No, this has been kind of going on because look, what's that one freakazoid, Levine, the health one, whatever, that tranny,
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
you
yeah.
know, they hired that one first, and before that, I can't think of any others at the moment, but so no, this isn't really new. It's kind of been, right off the bat.
So, dude, like like this word diversity, you think this is a new word or it's been around for a while?
Nah, man, we have to go into like deep talks of communism and shit because this is all rooted from way back in Marxism, dude. Like this goes way back.
Because I remember,
So
I'm gonna look it up right now. I remember a video of Thomas Sowell. Right, you know Thomas Sowell?
yeah, yeah.
So Thomas Sowell did a video with what was his name? Uh, Buchanan. Good, I forgot his name. But they were talking about how diversity is important to a college campus. And Thomas Sowell brought it up like, why? Why is it important? Says, well, it's important that we have we don't have the same people occupying the same college. You need diversity so that all of these students, all of these collegiate students can have different experiences from around the world. They get exposed to different cultures and this and that. And then Thomas Sowell brought it up that so what is so magical about this word diversity? It's like you say it's like you say it and we're supposed to react like Pavlov's dog, like, oh yes, this is a good thing.
Hmm.
So this my point is that I, I'm leading to the idea that the seeds have been sown, and I think we're kind of reaching a point of no return where it leads to all this talk about civil war.
Yeah, that's the hot topic. Everyone's saying it now. Actually, Tim Pool's even saying that we're in it right now.
I
couple
think
other
I,
sources as well.
I think we've been in it since I can't remember. I can't pinpoint an exact date, but I think ever since Trump got in, at least we were in the beginning or like already like between the beginning and the middle of it. There's been some sort of civil war going on, at least on the like a cold civil war, like a cultural civil war almost.
Yeah, I think that's probably more accurate right there. Because I mean, no, well, no, you can argue that shots have been fired already.
Exactly.
Within the past couple years. So that's yeah, people have died. People have been shot already, but not in
The
mass.
summer of love.
Yeah, Summer of Love, or that one incident where that one guy, hey, look, that's a Trumper, and he
Yeah.
walks across the street, put two in his chest, and just walked off.
Yeah.
If you remember that one, he
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
ran.
Yeah.
And
For no
then the
reason.
other one, the guy pepper sprayed him, and the other dude pulled a gun and shot him.
And there was the one where like a kid, he was like just some kid, like some teenager, and they just beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, I don't, damn, I didn't hear about that one,
That one was a while
but
back. I forgot his name, but it was like just some kid, just some random kid, and the mob just attacked him.
yeah, ridiculous, man.
But
Like,
I'm thinking because I talked about this in a video before. I forgot what episode it was where I brought up Yuri Bezmenov.
yeah,
Remember Yuri?
yeah, man, good old Yuri, dude. He told us, he warned us.
He knew what was going on. He knew how it was gonna. He knew what was happening, and he knew how it was going to be done.
Hmm.
So the thing that I don't think people focus on the most, and I touched on this on the video, is that do you remember what he said about the people who are what's the first one that he was it demoralized? The
Demoralized, yeah.
the
We're in
first
that.
Yeah, like that first step where you can show them the evidence, you can tell them the facts, you can have documents, you can physically take them to the camps, to the communist camps, you can take them and physically show them the evidence and they still won't believe you.
Yeah,
I
because you're the opposition.
what
Yeah,
for whatever the reason they've been brainwashed so well. Their brains have just been sanded smooth so well that there's no amount of evidence that will ever.
change their mind or convince them, or even at least entertain the idea that they could be wrong or something could be different. With their point of view.
Exactly. So, do you remember what he said? What would be the thing that would cause them to change their mind?
You're gonna have to have a fucking boot up their ass.
The boot.
Basically, that's
Yeah.
what he said. They're not
Exactly.
gonna, and by then it's already too late. The tyrants are in power, and you're their bitch.
Exactly. And that's what he said was the tragedy of the whole thing is that it's gonna take the boot. And I think
Yeah,
that that's where we're. I feel I've always had like a trying to get the idea of looking at the bright side, looking at the silver lining. There's always a silver lining and this and that, but I don't know, man. All this talk, like, because Tim Pool's been kind of bothering me lately, because he all talks about we need to do things peaceful. It needs to be we need to talk about this. We need to do this, and we need to do that. It's like, so when is the line crossed? Like, when is the time for talk over? Is there?
I mean, there's still options. Like, I think it's still too early to be black pilled because we haven't really done anything. Like, the good example is Canada. Like, it's funny and sad that we have to look to our neighbors in the north to see how to do things right. You know what I mean? Like, we should have taken care of our bullshit a long time ago, but we got all these Canadians showing us how it's done. They fucking blockaded all that shit. They did it. They organized. They got it done, and now Trudeau's all calling them all sorts of things. You know, under the sun, whatever it is, and
I mean,
he's running scared. But it's having an impact, and now they're threatening doing a state of emergency so they can actually use the military to go in and swipe that up. But that's gonna look so bad. The optics are gonna be wonderful for that.
but dude, the mask is off. Like the mask is off.
Yeah,
They're not even pulling any punches anymore. They literally have the police out there fuel, confiscating fuel, and making it so that they're seizing their funds. The
Yeah.
money that they're receiving from like Give, Send, Go and stuff like that, they're going after their funds. They're straight up robbing them.
Yeah.
So it's like, and they constantly say like I've been watching their little convoy updates or whatever. They have their like ambassador or like their spokesperson or whoever it is, and they're always saying like, oh, we're doing this peacefully. If you're gonna come over here, we want you to be peaceful, peaceful this and peaceful that and blah blah blah. It's like we are the only ones playing by the rules in a game that's rigged,
That's yeah, exactly rigged against us.
and we're still
Dude,
playing by the rules.
exactly, man.
That's
That's
what
what
that's
the
what bothers me so much. Like I want to have a sense of hope that there is a sense of hope, and when I try to talk to people about this, they kind of just blow it off. They don't care, and that
yeah,
pisses me
it's
off
not
just
affecting
as
them
much.
directly. That's why. It's because it's not affecting them directly. Like the whole boot to the neck thing. That's basically where those people are. Their ignorance is bliss. Basically, that's where they're stuck. They're not really in tune. Like a couple of my coworkers, or actually one of my new coworkers, he was the one that voted against Trump just because he didn't like him. That's basically it. He's a young dude, whatever. He's like 27, I think, but he voted against Trump. He didn't vote for Biden. So,
He didn't
and
vote
now
for
look,
Biden.
no, he just voted against Trump.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, like, and then thanks to you, we're paying $3 a gallon every single time I go to HEB or whatever. I'm spending minimum $50. 40, 30 to $50 minimum. It's like the stuff that I used to buy back then. It ain't cutting it anymore. But anyway,
For
I,
those
I
of you who
digress
don't
from
know,
that.
HEB is a grocery store that also has a gas station, and usually it's the cheapest gas where we live.
Like we're here complaining about $3. I'm sure some places are up to $5, $6 already.
Oh,
You
they
know what I
are.
mean?
Yeah, in
Yeah,
California,
they
it's
are. So,
crazy.
like, yeah. But I mean, still, cost of living is different everywhere. But yeah, still, it sucks for everybody, and it's all certain people's fault, especially the ones that voted against Trump. Like they had no idea what they were doing. They're just like, oh, I was told that Trump is a bad, so I'm going to vote against him. I'm
There,
told what to think. I have no brain.
there are people who believe that Trump said that people should inject bleach.
Yeah. Have you seen that Peter McCullough interview, Joe Rogan?
When was it? Was it
'Cause,
recently? I haven't seen a Joe Rogan video in a while, to be honest. I'm letting all of
Spotify.
this Spotify bullshit blow over.
Okay. Well, anyway, I have Spotify, so I listen to the two podcasts about the two doctors or whatever. But Peter McCullough mentioned the bleach thing, and Trump just didn't articulate it in a proper way. He just kind of like they do use bleach in a certain way, but not in the way that Trump. He just couldn't explain it. But there is a method to use bleach to sterilize or whatever, and that's what he was thinking. But he just didn't know how to say it. So, but anyway, yeah, that was actually kind of funny. They just took it out of context, of course, and made him sound like an idiot. I guess he shouldn't have tried to explain it if he didn't really know how to. But I mean, yeah, he was on to something because that Peter McCullough doctor talked about it. Kind of interesting. You should listen to that someday. But he blows off the lid on COVID big time, man. It's like, dude, all the stuff that I was suspicious about confirmed everything. And anyway, I don't want to go into that. We're talking about Canada here and how to do freedom. We need to get our freedom back. I mean, we don't have that problem here in Texas, thankfully, because
But
Abbott
no,
was following DeSantis.
this adds to it. This adds to that. This is all part of the same encompassing thing. It's like we have a system, we have a government that is pushing the limits as to what they can get away with. Like they're pushing the limits of the sovereignty that we've given them, of the
Yeah,
authority that we're giving them. They're pushing the limit, seeing how far they can go, and it's right there, plain as day. And Canada is a good example of what's happening in that they have zero shame in what they're doing. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. How can the police officers, just the police officers alone, how can they be going out there and saying, "Yeah, I'm going to confiscate people's gas. I'm going to confiscate their diesel. I'm going to confiscate what they need to survive a Canadian winter." It's it's cold in Canada. Like it's like really cold, and in the winter it's even colder. And they're taking away these people's ability to keep themselves warm and ultimately taking away their ability to try to protest. Like they're not even hiding it anymore. They'll say in the same sentence, in the same breath, they'll say these people have a right to protest, but yet they'll say we are putting things in place to keep these people from protesting. We're
Yeah,
confiscating fuel. We're seizing their funds. We're using intelligence to stop people from supporting them. Like they said, they're gonna prosecute. They're gonna try to prosecute people who are sending money to these people.
that's ridiculous. And that's the tyrants, dude. We have tyrants in power.
So right
There
here,
was a
real quick before we move, I want to do this fact check really quick right here because I did this fact check in a person's face and it felt so good. So right here, this is from This is from Statesman right here. This is PolitiFact's ruling, mostly false. Mostly false. Joe Biden on COVID-19. Donald Trump said that maybe if you drank bleach, you'd be okay. So Joe Biden criticized Donald Trump for handling the coronavirus pandemic. So in reality, Joe Biden is the one that people should who said that people should be drinking bleach. It's right here. PolitiFact's ruling, mostly false. Donald Trump did not say that people should be drinking bleach. Okay.
yeah, it's ridiculous, man. But I don't know. The whole Canada situation is crazy. I just wonder how it's gonna escalate. Like either way, the optics don't look good for them because first they were saying, yeah, protests, and now they're calling them terrorists. They're being, threatening and whatnot when they're just there having parties. Basically, it's like a party out there. People are just having, a good time, and they're doing it peacefully.
And I can see why they're doing that. They've actually strategized about this because that's the thing about protests that people don't understand, that protests are hard to go to alone. Just being there is very difficult because you're out in the middle of nowhere. Depending on where the protest is, you're very exposed, and it's not a people would rather be at home basically, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So they get all these bouncy castles, they get all this music, they get food, they get all of this stuff, and what they do is it's intentionally done that way for morale. They want to keep morale up, and it's smart. I mean that's what you want to do. People don't want to be in squalor. That's why Chaz and Chop didn't do so well, because you had a bunch of idiots who didn't know how to do anything, and it was just a bunch of toxic people all in one place.
Bunch
And
of self-loathing people too. They don't. I'm pretty sure they didn't have the highest self-esteem either.
exactly, yeah.
You got people like that. You got the meek running everything. You know what I mean? That's basically what we have in our office too. We got the weak leading, and weak people are not leaders. We don't even, dude. It's fucking pissing me off, man. We got all these weaklings in our office and stuff representing, and they're supposed to represent us. We got weak, fucking, what do you call it? Rulers. There you go. We got rulers, man. We don't have representatives. You know, even in Canada too, they don't have representatives. They got fucking rulers, dude. This is how these people are behaving. They're not supposed to be rulers, man.
Have you
That's
been
why.
Have you seen the recent shows with on Tim Pool with Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Yeah, man. She's pretty dope, dude. I like her thinking. Like she inspires me to want to be in the office. Although that would never happen because man, they do one Google search on my name and they'll fucking dig up all kinds of shit. But anyway, but it inspires me because my whole goal would be to go in. If I were to get into any office or whatever, I wouldn't count on having a second term. My goal would be to go in and do as much as I can in my first term. And if it's my only term, cool. Like I want to try to do as much as I can and like whatever. But if people like what I do and I'm successful at it, hey, I might get a second. You know what I mean? That would be my mentality. Just go in like a bull in a china shop and just wreck shit and try to tear down all this bullshit that's like detriment to everybody. And it only benefits the upper class or those people in power.
And
It's
I
like
don't even I don't know if you could, because I mean I feel as if the system to is set up a certain way, and it's been run by the same people for far too long. I feel like as if government has a culture. It has already
yeah,
a set culture that when people get in there, they are expected to behave a certain way and to do things a certain way. And if they don't, they get pushed out one way or another.
real quick, yeah, like it's like a virus being expunged from the body. It's
It,
its whole. It's a whole entity, man. And I was gonna mention that other guest he had on with Marjorie Taylor Greene at the same
Yeah,
time. I forgot his name,
he was
but he
from
was also
Kentucky.
yeah, that guy. He's also similar to her, but he explained how he had the same idea. Like, man, I want to go in and change things, and then he realized how fucked everything was.
Yeah.
Like, it's beyond fix. You basically need to hit the restart button on the whole system. But he did what he could. As far as trying to do things properly. Like calling meetings or whatever, or how they talked about how they could vote,
They do the roll
or
calls and
I
stuff.
forget
Yeah.
what they called it. Huh?
They call the rolls. They
Yeah, there you go.
where
Or like calling everybody.
people actually have to come in and vote. They can't just like vote
Yeah,
by proxy or whatever.
exactly. And of course it would piss everyone off and stuff, but it's like, they're doing their job. Anyway, like, yeah, it's kind of ridiculous how things are. People don't even know this. Hell, I didn't know this is how the government was run. Because I mean, I never really did the research. I wasn't really taught this in school either. I mean, I don't think they do teach you this kind of stuff, do they?
No, they
Like,
don't.
you ever voted
They don't
proxy?
teach. No, they teach you how the system is supposed to work.
Yeah,
Like this is how they give you the outline and they say so you have this process, you have this process, and then this is how it's done. This is how it should be done. They don't talk about how it's actually done. And
yeah,
and and I'm thinking that leads me to think, man. It makes me even think of like even worse shit. Like say we were to start brand new, clean slate, brand new. Look at the people that we have now. Do we have anybody that is like because I'm thinking of this as a larger scale. Like I'm looking at all these little kids that are coming up that are going to become the new voters. All these TikTokers and these influencers and all these people that these kids that they think that they're going to make a living, they're going to make money off of YouTube, stuff like that.
yeah. This new
And
generation.
yeah, like they're just thinking like I'm going to go to college and I'm going to get a cushy job and that's it. Like they're not even thinking of like manual
Dude,
labor.
in college, they're like, I'm gonna be a TikTok star.
Yeah,
Shit, that's my stepson. He's like, I want to be a YouTuber. That's his thought. He's not thinking. Well, now he wants to be an engineer, so thankfully he's kind of changing his mind a little bit. But I mean, that was what he originally wanted, because he's being influenced by all the stuff he watches. I don't blame him. We'd probably be susceptible to it at that age as well.
I
But
don't know, dude. We were susceptible to that stuff. Like we were
yeah,
into like the fighting game stuff and all the streaming and all that stuff started kind of coming up. And but we knew like that's not a
yeah,
consistent living. Like, dude,
yeah.
look what happened. Where's Justin Wong?
I mean, he's still around. Some
He's
I've seen some of his new videos, but I mean, yeah, he's still doing his thing.
but you think
But I mean,
that's one person.
well, also he does have a backup though. Like he is college educated, I think. So
That's my
you
point.
know what I mean? Yeah. So he didn't just like, oh fuck it, I'm going all in on video games. Like nah, like he was a smart guy. He went to school and everything first. He got his degree, so he has that.
But
But
I can name a handful of people that actually did something with video games, and that's because these people were like at the top of the game. Like these people are at the top of the food chain. Like Daigo, uh, just pretty much everybody in, not everybody, but a couple of people at the God's Garden. Maybe Mago, not really Mago, but who's that other guy? Uh,
well,
Tokido,
like all the
Daigo,
top Japanese players,
Tokido. Yeah, all these top players. Daigo, Tokido, um, Justin Wong, and that's it. Those are the only
inf- he's not doing his thing still.
who.
Infiltration, Korean player.
Oh, I haven't heard of him. I jump on Twitch every now and then, and I go to the Street Fighter channel or page or whatever, and I see who's playing. And usually the top people that I usually see playing are Smug and Brian F.
Hmm.
Those are pretty much the
Well,
only people that I see, and they don't even have that many viewers.
and well, Five's dead, man. They're waiting for part 6 to come out.
But
Anyway,
everyone's
but
moved on. Like there's nothing there. Like
yeah, the
the
fighting game scene is dead, dude. And then with all the scandals that happen and shit, and it's like,
yeah,
yeah,
there's
it's
nothing there.
done.
So we have a country where, say, we start off at a clean slate. You have a group of citizens who are absolutely useless to the
Yeah.
people who are living within that country. They have no skills. They barely have an education. What good are they?
Just workers, like labor
They
or
can't
labor.
work. They can't work. They're too lazy.
No, I mean,
They'd rather sit at home and be unemployed than go and do manual labor. Like those redditors, those workers
yeah, I was
reddit.
about yeah,
They
the
want to sit home and be philosophers.
fucking idiots. Like, man, I remember that one guy, or when he did the interview, whatever, he exposed himself all stupid.
Yeah, and
Like,
Jesse Waters. Yeah.
embarrassing, man. Like, you're the typical, you're what all the memes, you're the meme, you're the living
You
meme,
yeah.
dude.
You are
Like,
that
holy
guy.
shit. Yeah, you are that guy that everyone fucking posts all the time whenever, oh my God, no self awareness, man.
It's
We need to bring
amazing.
back shame, man. Like I agree. We got to bring back shame. Like bullying, like Ricada, man. He's base as fuck, dude. Like I like his thinking. I don't know if you've seen him or the You Are Here podcast.
Yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
was on.
Yeah, with Ricada, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and he was talking about yeah, shaming, dude. We need to bring back shame because these people have no shame, man. That's why they like cuck. They're all a bunch of cucks. They're all faggots. They're all whatever. They don't want to. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like they have no shame, dude.
No one ever told them
They
what
they
they
have
were
no
doing is dumb. Like no one ever challenged what they were doing.
exactly.
They
Yes,
could do no wrong.
exactly. Like when we were growing up, man, quit being a fag or that's stupid, dude. You're dumbass. Nobody. They criticize us. We're like, fuck you, right? But it made us grow. It's like we took the hits, whether we felt a certain way or not. That's what developed us. So I feel I have thick skin these days. Like I don't give a shit what anybody says about me.
Do you
Like
think?
if I were to come big tomorrow, whatever, and then the woke mom came after me, I'd be like, I'd grab my dick and be like, yeah, suck it, bitch. I don't give a fuck what any of you say.
And
You can call me whatever you want.
but I don't
Just
think
like right.
there's people like that anymore, dude. Like I don't think that we can go back to the way that we were, the way that the country was. I don't think we can go back. I
We
think
have to.
I don't think we
We,
can.
I think we can. We just need to do it. There's no matter of you just do it, man. People just need to grow some balls and tell them to fuck off because they're not our audience. We're not catering to them. You know what I mean? Like
But what
they
what
are.
I'm talking about is the culture of America.
Yeah, we need to take that back somehow.
We
Well, I think it's
can't.
swinging
I
back,
think
man.
it's gone, dude. I think it's gone.
I think well, okay, it's gone right now. Yes, what we grew up with, yes, that's gone. But I think temporarily, or maybe something new will come from it. But right now, I see the it's swinging the other way. Finally, people are getting sick of the movies, all the stupid representation, all the in your face wokeism, all that nonsense. Like, dude, all these woke movies are bombing in the fucking box office,
But
and then you got movies that are
do you think that you could, possibly that you could just be thinking that that's happening because that's all that you see, that's all that you choose to see? Because I'm sure you're not watching CNN. I'm sure you're
not
not tuned in to MSNBC Hee Haw, and I'm sure you're not watching The View, and I'm sure you're not watching all these other publications that are left wing. I think you're looking at this from a very biased view, and I think that that's giving you false hope. Think because you're creating an echo chamber in your own self, thinking like, hey, everybody is thinking this because look, I watched this one and I watched this one and I watched this one, thinking that you're watching different publications when they're all part of the same thing, saying the same. Everyone is talking the same thing. I feel like you're putting yourself in a bubble, and you're thinking like there's a lot more people that are causing a movement that's not actually happening. Is that
not
possible?
No, it could be possible, but I don't know. That's why I try to go all over and look for different sources and stuff. I mean, I hear different points of views. I follow different people. They all say the same things, sure, but they all say it in different ways,
But
and
it's the
some of
same
them,
thing.
like, I'm biased about it.
But you just said it right
And
there. They say the same thing, but it's said in different ways. What does it matter if it's said in different ways if it's the same thing?
well, I listen to what they have to say, and then I interpret it my own way. Like I don't like these lefties that just can't. They take everything for gospel. Like I'll listen to it, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense to me because I happen to agree with that. It's like, all right, no, what you said is dumb. I don't agree with that shit. But I mean, all these people speak what they talk about these subjects. I see it. I do a quick search or whatever. I'll go watch some videos. I'll read a bunch of comments and stuff. And it's like, okay, well, these are what these people think, like, so it's kind of mixed, or these, dead, you know what I mean? I do a lot of reading
I know what
to
you're
see what
saying.
other people
I
think.
know what you're saying. Like you are you don't censor yourself to other people's opinions.
No, I
Yes,
have my own opinion.
well, no, I know you have your own opinion, but when another person has an opinion, you just don't be like you just don't completely ignore it and waste your time with it. You take it in and you think about it before you come up to a decision whether that is good or bad.
Yeah.
Yes. Whereas
You
there's other
know,
people who just look at, okay, who's telling me this? Oh, Fox News is telling me this. I'm not going to listen to it because it's from Fox News.
yeah,
See,
exactly.
there's two different types of people here. But what I'm getting at is that there are too I believe that there are too many people, too many powerful people making money off of these dimwits that they are not going to let them go. They're going to create things and do whatever it is they need to do to keep those people in line because they are their first line of defense against the freethinkers, against the people who want the country to be strong again, who want America to go back to its former days of glory. And
Yeah,
these people in power, they don't want that because they are no longer in power. The free thinkers, the people are in power and they don't want that. So think of like all of these things that we have, like the metaverse, technology, all of this big tech stuff. Like all of this stuff is just set up to distract us.
yeah, it's a big distraction.
And
Exactly.
there are too many. It's like the Matrix. Dude. There are too many people attached to the machine that they're not ready to be cut loose, or they don't want to cut loose. Look at that guy. What was I forgot his name? The guy that went back and cut the deal with the agents. What was his name? APOC?
Cipher.
Cipher. He cuts the
Yeah,
deal with the agents, and he wanted to get plugged back into the Matrix. He wanted that ignorance.
because that real life he was living was miserable compared to what he was used to in the Matrix.
Exactly. He didn't like fending for himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he
That's,
wanted someone to take care of him more than he wanted to take care of himself. And I think that there's too many people out there right now that are like that that I don't see how they're that we can have a peaceful like Marjorie, was it Marjorie Taylor Greene that said it? I don't know if we can have how we can have a peaceful divorce.
I don't
I
know, man. Each state is set up differently, but then you got to worry about the people within the state that wants the divorce. So, all the free thinkers in the blue states, I feel sorry for them because, they're like the minority. Uh, I don't know, man. It's
it,
gonna be a sticky situation, dude.
I think this just leads up to like the overarching thing. I had sent a thing to Tim Pool because he was talking about something. I forgot what it was. This was a while back. I want to say months ago, and it was on Twitter. And I sent him a message like, dude, like I I have a reasoning like for all of this. Like there's no solution to anything like this. I remember Terminator 2 taught me everything that I needed to know about the future.
Is it
And
our nature to destroy ourselves?
yeah, that's our name. That's what we do. We destroy ourselves. We live in a universe. We live in a whatever you want to call this, this existence that there is no out. There is only forward. And in order to go forward, you need to lose something. You need to leave something behind, whether it's energy or whatever, however you want to think about it. In order to go forward, you have to leave something behind. So
Yeah,
that in itself, its nature is destructive. So everything that we do is ultimately bound to that reality. So I don't know, man. This leads me back to what we talked about before. I think we need to go back to the olden times and be like, just like trial by combat stuff. like
yeah, man. Dude, might makes right. Dude. Like what the I mean, nah, like that's ugly. I wouldn't want to see fighting in the streets. When people mention Civil War, I think we're gonna be the combatants. Is it gonna be the free thinkers versus the Army Reserve? Is it gonna be the pink-haired trannies out there in heels and shit? Like, who's gonna be shooting who? Like, when they mention Civil War, I don't understand who are gonna be the fighting parties. We have a bunch of disagreements, sure, but Who's going to be shooting each other in the streets? That's what I don't get. I don't understand. I guess I'm thinking conventional war. Maybe there's a different type of civil war. But I mean, how many people are out there other than the what? Who was the ones out there marching? The black crew? Was it the no? It wasn't the Israelites, but during the Black Lives Matter marches, they were out there with their 22, assault
Oh
rifles.
yeah, oh, man, I forgot their name. They had like a bunch of
Well,
negligent discharges. Yeah, I
yeah,
forgot.
those idiots, fucking retards.
That guy fell
They
out of the
were
news real quick because how stupid he got bullied, and the bullying worked apparently because I didn't see him after all those stupid incidents.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, who are going to be the combatants? Is going to be those jokers? I mean, an idiot with a gun can still do some damage, but I'm just saying, like I don't understand who's going to be fighting who. Like, is it going to be us versus the government? Is it going to be us versus ourselves? I don't get it. Like, I don't know who's fighting who when they mention civil war. Like, I don't know unless you could tell me. I mean, shit.
I'm thinking of it as a grand scheme of things. It's like it's gonna be people just fighting just to make a statement because standing there and with your little protest sign and your little bullhorn and honking your horn, that doesn't do it. So that statement isn't loud enough anymore. So there are going to be people, I think, that are going to take that
Turn to violence for it.
and that's going to be their statement.
I
Because
mean, but still,
it's okay. It's okay when BLM, it's okay when Antifa go and destroy buildings and burn down businesses and entire neighborhoods to make a
yeah,
statement. That
because they're establishing back.
exactly. It's okay for them to do it. So that's already that's already what's the word like when another court has already decided on something uh
I don't know, man.
pre
Oh yeah, premeditated.
not premeditated. Uh God, it's like another court has already decided on something. There's already precedence for that.
Okay.
It's happened before, and it has worked. So why won't it happen again? You know what I mean? Using that same tactic. Because
I
I'm
don't know, man.
because I'm even thinking of it myself, dude. Like I don't even know. I don't even want to talk about it because I don't want this on the internet because it's crazy, man. Like I'm
It's
thinking.
Fed talk, man. We can't do some Fed posting. It's Fed posting, man. I know where you're going, but I mean, still, dude, how can you even talk about it? Because you're labeled this, you're labeled that by the government. You know what I mean? Like, you can't even talk. I mean, it's not we're not advocating for anything. Like, dude, I don't want shit to hit the fan. Like, I like being able to go to the grocery store buying whatever the fuck I want. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want that shit to stop. I want to be able to go to the gym regularly. I want to live life, like, but if there's turmoil, supply lines are going to be cut. People don't think about that shit. You're not going to be able to get groceries as easily. Basic survival is going to be a thing that's going to be necessary,
And
like, how
that's
do
what's
you
getting
buy?
me that's what's getting me heated because we know what's going to happen at the end of the road. We know what the outcome will. We know how much it's going to suck because we've seen it. But
Yeah,
these other people they're not thinking about that stuff. They don't
they
care
just
about that.
Yeah, they want to change. They want to burn down the system that they think is wronging them, even though they don't do a damn thing with themselves. They're overweight. They're unhealthy. They're unhappy. They, blame everything else but their own actions and poor decisions for their failures in life.
Dude,
They just want
I
to
don't think
burn
they want to
down.
burn down the system. I think they want to create a big system. Like they want government programs.
They would have to tear down what we have now to create that. Basically, is what I guess I should have said.
No,
Build.
I think they want to build on what we have now. Like, what do we have
More,
now? Dude,
more.
how much did we spend on COVID? Like when COVID first hit and they passed that stimulus bill or whatever the hell it was, how much did we spend on that?
I don't know. Wasn't it like several $1 trillion or something
Last
stupid?
I remember it was like I think I've heard different numbers, but it was like $2 trillion. How much of
Yeah,
that actually went to COVID?
a lot of it went to bullshit.
Because dude,
Well, under
I'm gonna
Trump,
go.
I don't know.
I'm gonna bring up the calculator. I don't care about Trump. I don't care about who's. I don't care. I'm just talking about
Oh
what
no,
happened. So
yeah,
let
yeah. I'm saying like the first round under Trump because he was still in office when the first round of COVID checks hit, right? And then the second one was Biden, wasn't it? Or no?
I don't know.
I don't
So
even remember.
the $2 trillion was that part of the $1,200 check?
Yeah, the first round, yes, I
Okay,
believe.
how many people are in the United States?
A little more than 300 million.
So let's say 350 million. So if every single person got a check, 350 million times 1200, that's 420 million dollars. That's not even a
Million?
billion dollars, dude. 420 million dollars. 350 million
Really?
times 1200.
Damn.
Let me
That's
oh, no, no,
ridiculous.
no, I'm missing a zero.
You know what?
That's not right.
You know what, though? I mean, I don't know about that end total, but I do recall hearing that if they had what do you call it, spread it out properly, or if somebody honest was doing this shit,
thousand
I think
million.
each person could have got up to $10,000,
Dude,
not 1,200.
it was 420 billion dollars. I was missing a zero.
Okay, see that's what I was saying. Like million, no billion. That
But
sounds a little closer.
dude, you know how much a trillion dollars is?
Yeah, it's fucking 1,000 billions
It's a
and shit.
thousand billions. What happened to the other
it,
trillion?
it went it went to climate change. It went to all this other bullshit, dude. It was all pork.
So,
But Trump had to do it to look, to get.
well, no, no,
Ah,
that's
man.
not my point. I don't care about Trump. I'm not trying to
I
put
get, I
blame
get
on
you. I
Trump.
get you.
That's not my point.
No,
I
no,
don't care.
no.
My point is that look at what the government did. Gave out all
Yeah.
of this money for the betterment of society to protect the citizens, or to for the greater good, or whatever you want to call it. That's what these people want. They want these government handouts. They want these government programs. They want to be plugged back into the matrix.
Yeah, dude. Everyone was happy with those Trump checks.
Yeah, and
Even the ones that hated him, they're like, "Fuck it, as long as I get my money." Like,
they love these lockdowns. They love the
yeah,
lockdowns. They don't
they
because
don't have to work.
they don't have to work.
DoorDash, they get food brought to them. They get government checks. With this recent one, with the what do you call it, the child one, where they would get like $300 a month or something.
Yeah,
You know what I found out though? Like my girl was telling me that she opted out of it because she thought it was borrowing from the income tax check that we get at the end of the year, right? But no, they got the fucking child credit plus they're getting this income tax check as well. So they were my my girlfriend's sister was getting those $300 a month checks last year, and she's still getting a fat 9,000 or whatever dollar return on this one.
I don't
It's
know.
insane.
I don't know, dude. I think you want to I don't know. I think you want to check in on that because I've heard other people say different that they're
No, this is true though. She already filed and she's getting that back.
but they're getting they were going to receive that money anyway.
Hmm.
To my understanding, the way that I had read it, they were going to receive that money anyway at the end of the year, whether they had taken the money or not. So that was going to be included with the thing, but you could opt in to receive that money monthly, and then they'll just give you the difference at the end.
I don't know. I need to ask her, but yeah, I think so.
I'm not
Maybe they
saying
only got about.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying the way that I read it, I could have misunderstood it, but the way that I said is that you can opt in to receive it monthly, and then at the end you'll get it all, whatever the difference was.
You know what? Yeah, now that you mention it, or now that I think about it, my girlfriend did say that she would have got 1,300 back instead of 9,000. So yeah, she was basically getting in advance
She's still
from what
getting it.
was.
So she was still going to get that money no matter what.
Yeah, yeah.
You
So
can
she
just
got it
shift.
early.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, okay, so all right, that clears that up. But yeah, man, I don't know. People like free shit though. They don't want to work. There's no ambition. Like I do admire the old school, the old generations because they had to go out there and chop their own wood. They had to go survive. They had to go hunt and stuff. I do like the convenience of everything, but man, if shit hits the fan, dude, I don't know how to garden. Like I don't know how to fucking grow my own food. I don't know how to. I've never really gone hunting. I'm not gonna lie, shit. The only time I went was when I was little. Like because I mean, shit, we live basically in the city, and unless we actually go out of our way to go hunt and stuff, you know what I mean? We're skillless, dude, as far as survival goes. I didn't join the military, so I don't have that. Like, you know what I mean? What the fuck would somebody like me do? Like, I mean, I could learn it, but it's kind of too little, too late. I should have done this a long time ago. But I mean, still, if shit hits the fan tomorrow, well, I'm kind of fucked. I'd have to go hook up with somebody that does know what the hell they're doing.
I mean, I
So
think
it's
I think everybody's kind of in that. Not
yeah,
everybody, but
basically.
I want to say the
A lot of
majority
people,
of people are in that boat.
yeah, man. And that's so. I mean, it sucks though, because I don't want to be in that fucking boat. I want to be able to duck out and survive if I have to, and take care of others around me. But I mean, shit, I'm gonna be helpless, and I don't want to be helpless. So I need to start doing some changes, while things are still peaceful and I have time to do it. So unfortunately, though, I work 6 days a week and it kind of sucks. And it just takes a lot out of me, and I don't really want to do much. But
Yeah,
that's just an excuse, though. I mean, I just need to do it. There's no way around it. Anyway,
but there's people who don't even have that that mentality at all. They want everything given to them. They expect things to be given. They expect things to be given to them without any effort. It's like they're what's that word? Entitled. They feel like they're entitled to everything.
yeah, I
And
don't know where that entitlement came from. Well, no, I do know. Our public schools and just being raised by the TV and parents that don't really give a, they let devices raise their children instead of spending time with them, teaching them, moral values and stuff.
yeah,
And they took God. God isn't in a lot of in a lot of households these days either. Like, I'm not an overly religious person, but I do believe that that's an important thing because it teaches you, or it gives you a baseline of, character and morals and how to behave and stuff,
yeah.
and that was
And
ripped out of our schools, and it's kind of, man,
I,
we want to get into that
I
shit.
I feel as if it's the government. I feel the majority of the problems, not all. I feel a lot of this stuff is like self-fulfilling, but I feel
Hey,
as
but
if that
well,
what
I was gonna say, I think it goes to, man, it goes back to communism. Like, look at what's going on. Think about Yuri Bezmenov and the goal of Marxism. Are you familiar with James Lindsay?
no. No, I don't think I've heard. I don't know. The name sounds familiar, but I can't think of
He
anything.
he does a lot of lectures on Marxism, cultural Marxism, all this stuff, like all the woke shit. He's look him up on YouTube, man. He recently did a podcast on Joe Rogan too, and he's been on others. But James Lindsay goes into hardcore detail about wokeism, Marxism, whatever, like all that bullshit that's infecting our system, like all these people infiltrated our systems, our schools, our government, everything. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing the results of this. These are the people that are in charge. They snuck into power and now they're, running amok. They're just changing things to fit a more communistic style. And people are getting comfortable with it. Like you said, they want the free handouts. And this is just a means to that end,
But
Yeah,
dude,
this is just the beginning. This is
did
just the beginning.
did these people sneak into power, or did we elect them?
Well, that's debatable because look at what happened with this last election. They say he was elected, but I mean, you and I can probably disagree with that. That it was fucking rigged. I mean, taping pizza boxes to the windows and stuff, so
It,
that people can't see what they're doing.
it,
The votes,
it's
counting votes and stuff. Like, I don't know, man. It's kind of sketchy. But anyway, I
it,
would say some of these people were voted in, and maybe some of them were installed. Through underhanded means. Who knows? We can't prove it. It's all conspiracy at that point. But I mean, is it really hard to believe? Look at how shady our government is and all the fucking things that they do. And now in our face, tyrant. What do you call it? It's just, yeah, the mask is off.
because I
We got
feel
literal government right now. We have a literal fascist government. Business and government working together. They told, hey, Spotify, do something about Rogan. How is that? How are people not crying fascism? We're all the Antifa out there, trying to tear down Spotify. You know what I mean? Or whatever the fuck. Where are these? Yeah, it's fucking annoying, dude. Anyway,
Cause, dude, I'm thinking all of this is not by design. It's because people elected it. I feel as if that, like, just us talking about this right now, haven't even put much thought into this, just thinking about it right now, is that the government is a reflection of its society. And at least here in the United States, that our government is all jacked up, is all just ridiculous, just running rampant, just completely ridiculous because that is how society has that is a reflection of American society. I feel as
there's
if yeah.
two different worlds. I mean, because listening to that the recent Tim cast with Marjorie Taylor Greene and that other guy, I forgot his name. I need to look it up. anyway, like them two, they seem honest and legit. Like they want to go in there and do their job right according to the Constitution and whatever. Like a real oath taker. And but they explain how corrupt it is, and it's just impossible to get anything done because once you're there, once they see that you're there to change things, do things the right way, they try to expel them as quickly as possible
Yeah.
and get them out of there. It's corrupt, man. It's beyond repair. You
It,
almost have to hit the reset button, or more people just need to become aware and get angry about it and do something.
but
Not
no one,
violent.
but people don't want that. That's what I'm saying. I think that society wants things to be on rails. They want everything to be on rails and convenient and simple, so they hire people that do that. Like don't let me think for myself. You try to think for me by giving me TV shows and entertainment that is diverse. You determine what
You do the
diverse
thinking
is.
for me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't let me determine diversity on my own.
like
Let
Ethan Klein.
yeah,
The experts. Just listen to the experts.
exactly. Yeah,
You don't
just
even have to use your brain. You just listen to the expert.
exactly. That's what these people want. So these people elect. I don't know if they're doing it, and I don't know if they're doing it willfully or unintentionally or whatever, but they're doing it, and that's why we have this chasm. And I talked about this chasm in another episode. The chasm between common sense and logic. Like I know it sounds weird, but common sense is
No.
something that everybody should know, right? It's common. It's everybody knows this. You when the
Or
grass
you
grows, you
see
use a
a
lawnmower
thing,
to cut it.
yeah, or you see a thing and you could just tell right away, the true meaning or what's going on, what's really going on. Like
Exactly.
just
So
based on observation.
so you have an idea that is supposed to be common sense, but there is a connection that is but that idea is based off the connection to logic. You need to be able to think logically in order for it to have, for it to have common sense because it's based off of logic. But people don't have logic anymore. They're not willing to take that extra mental step, that mental jumping jack, whatever you want to call it, that mental exercise to use their logic to determine whether something is or is not common sense.
But I wonder, did these people ever have critical thinking skills? Because growing up, I mean, I know we're taught that in schools and whatnot. And well, we grew up with video games, so you kind of had to learn it regardless because there was a lot of problems in video games that we had to overcome and solve. Puzzles and all that. So we were taught that at a young age in different ways. But these people that don't work or nothing, what if they don't play video games or they didn't do any activities that taught them critical thinking skills? Like, I wonder though, do these people even vote too? These lazy anti-work types that are on Reddit, do they even vote as well? I don't think they're vote because if they're too fucking lazy to get off their ass and do earn a wage or whatever, they're sure as hell not going to go to the polls. Like, so where do these votes come from, and how are these people voting for this nonsense? Like,
They don't
man,
they don't have to go out to vote. They can just mail it in now.
well, these days, yeah, I know, that's insane. That's fucking ridiculous. That shit needs to change. And
I had a dude come to my house, and he was running for something. I don't know what he was running for. Something for the city. He was running for it, and he was talking like, "Oh, I want to make change. I'm a teacher, and I see this," and he was talking about a lot of things that made sense. And because I was thinking about what he was saying when he was talking, and you know how there's been how I want to say last year or whatever they had that construction near the expressway, right where Tyler and the expressway is Tyler and Harrison.
okay,
You know, like where the
yeah, yeah,
movies are at. They like ripped
uh-huh.
all of that side up and they put new sidewalks. No one walks there. It's there's literally a highway, an expressway right there. No one walks through there. So it's
Yeah.
like why did they waste their money on that? Like our city floods. There's places in our city that floods when rain comes. Like all that money should have been used for irrigation, for not irrigation, for
Uh,
drainage.
Drainage, yeah.
Yeah, they should have done something about the drainage with that money. And that's what that guy was saying. Is like, oh well, they did that because it's something that everybody sees. So it's like a sexy thing that they did, so that they can attract voters. So they say like, look, we're doing something. We're actually fixing. We're beautifying the city, or we're doing. We're contributing to the value of the city, so that we'll bring in tourists or whatever the hell their justification is. And then I said like, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. So like, where do we go and vote then? Like, because I know that we voted at this other place and it's down the street. He's like, oh, and that's another thing. They want to make it harder to vote. They're making it harder to vote by because now you got to go to this other school and there's a bunch of people that go there. And I'm like, okay, yeah, yeah, I like that. That's it. I like that. That's good. And he's like, what do you mean? Like, why is that good? And I said, well, if it's harder to vote, that means that when you go and vote, that means you actually do want to go and vote. You're not just going because someone told you to go and vote.
Hmm.
And I was telling him like, dude, like I don't know about you, but I think there was one of the founding fathers that had said it, and I may be completely wrong, but one of the founding fathers had said that only people who owned property and
Should have the right.
were
Yeah,
educated could vote.
yeah. I forgot. Wasn't it Thomas? Was it Jefferson? It was one of. Yeah, I remember hearing the same thing.
Man,
Uh,
it was one of three guys that wrote. I don't know if they wrote Federalist Papers. Corey knows who it is. I totally forgot. Maybe
that
James Madison. I don't remember who it was. I don't know. Even if he said it, I wouldn't remember.
it was Jefferson.
It was?
Yeah, I think so. Hold on, I'm looking it up right
Okay,
now
fact check.
because
Fact check.
fact checking that right real time. No.
Okay.
Well, anyway, well, you continue while I find this,
Well,
but
I want to pull it up on my screen so that they can see it. Everyone should vote.
yeah, I do remember one of them said it that, and I kind of agree, but not, I mean, back then, yeah, it made sense, but nowadays it's kind of like, well, shit, I don't know, man. Yeah,
Let
that's
me
a
see. I think
sticky
I
one. There's
found it.
way too many people now.
Okay, I think I found it. So here we go. The founders and the vote declaration devise, but how Americans should be governed, who should vote.
Fisher,
It was James Madison, I think.
well,
Allowed the right to vote exclusively to property owners, the rights of persons to be oppressed, extended equally to all, may be overruled, or without property. Task of declaration: allow the right to vote exclusively to property owners.
that was Madison.
So that's what, according to this, is James Madison.
All right.
So in their day, that meant worrying if rights of property owners would be overrun by the votes of those who did not own land. So if we translate that to our times, you have people voting on a system that they don't even contribute to. So you have people who don't pay taxes, they collect welfare, they have like 4 or 5 kids out of wedlock,
Mhm.
yet they go out and vote because LeBron James told them to vote for somebody. Should those people be allowed to vote?
No, because they're not like, no, I mean, shit, they have. I see they should have a right to vote, but should they vote? No, because they're voting for. They don't know what the fuck they're voting for. They're just. Oh man, it's
Because
hard, dude.
that's what I
Like,
told the guys. Like, I know it's messed up, but I don't think everybody should vote.
yeah,
I don't think everybody should vote. Even me myself, I try to be as much as informed as possible because there was a time I voted Democrat on, what was it, back in 2020, because there was a lady that was running as a Republican and I knew that this lady was batshit crazy. Like she was straight up crazy and she was only running as a Republican because that's the only ballot she can get on. And I'm like, I have to vote Democrat on this other one because I know that this lady is just crazy. She's a
hmm,
crazy she's like she's legit crazy. I think she has like bipolar and she's, I don't know if she's autistic or something, but she's like she's straight up crazy.
wow,
And because I followed the policy, but I can't keep up with the policies of everybody and everybody isn't perfect. So even myself, I have difficulty voting because it you really have to take a lot of time to look into the policies and see and everything like that. So it's very difficult. Imagine
yeah,
these other people though, man. Like it's insane.
yeah, man. I was thinking about our local elections and stuff here. Like, I have no idea who to vote for. Um, like I have some dude running for commissioner down my street, and he came to my door and asked me, if he could leave a sign or whatever. I'm like, yeah, go for it. I don't know. I didn't really want to talk to him, but I mean, Still, dude, our local elections are very important, and there's like early voting coming up within the next couple of days, and I have no idea who to vote for or who's running for what. Like, I see a couple of Facebook, Don Huffman for Texas congressman, I think. Um, Dude, I like reading the comments, man. Some people are so out of touch, dude. It's just like I want to pull my hair out. Like, oh my god, the talking points these idiots come up with, it's just fucking insane, man. It's we're living in clown world.
And that's the thing,
And
man. That's the major.
living,
I think that's the majority of people. They are either like, so you have a spectrum, right? You have a wide spectrum, and in the middle you have people in the middle. On the left you have people on the left, and you have on the right you have people on the right. I think the majority of the people are either, they're not even in the middle. They're left middle or far left. They don't go past the middle. Like they are stuck in that crazy world because I think it's the easiest world for them to be in. All they have to do is watch TV, go onto Instagram, and go on to TikTok, and
Mhm.
they'll get their news from there. And they don't have to think. Everyone tells them what to say and what to think, and that takes off all their responsibility, and they're just stuck in that side of the spectrum. Dude, I believe that, I honestly believe that the majority of people, at least in the United States, are in that little quadrant of this spectrum. I would like for you to give me a white pill and say otherwise, but I don't see how it could be.
So, I mean, all those are the vocal. I think they're the vocal minority, to be honest.
I
Those really
hope,
loud
I want to
ones,
believe that. I do want to believe that.
but still, I think a lot of people that are more centrist, whether you're right or left center, it's they're not confrontational. They're not the ones out there doing all the protesting, the whatever. Well, the left likes to get violent and destroy things. The right, they don't do anything as far as I know. Or the far right, well, hell, that was Charlottesville, right? I don't even know. I don't keep up with that shit, to be honest. But what does the far right even do? Does the right even protest? Like, it's always, I always hear the left, the left, the left. It's always crazy people with pink hair and child molesters and all that. They're all the ones out there doing all
Vagina,
the things,
vagina hats and shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like all them crazies out there, all them weirdos that we grew up with. Like, you know who they are. That we all went to school with them. Like
Yeah,
they're those quiet ones that were just fucking weirdos. And now that they grow up and they grew up in what they felt was an unfair system because it's not not our fault they were antisocial and didn't want to you know open up to people. So they felt that everyone was against them or whatever maybe. And so now that they're in a position of power that they could change things the way that they felt it should have been when they were growing up. So now we got all this craziness going on, and like I said, they infiltrated power. There was this interview. Oh, Fleckus Talks. That was it. That's where I saw the video. Was it? No, it was Glenn Beck. He played a video of this billionaire guy who talked about infiltrating the governments. Like he was talking about the Canadian protest or whatever. Oh, he wasn't talking about the protest. I'm sorry. He was talking about Trudeau and how great he was. And then he made a Freudian slip, or maybe it was intentional, but he said like, "Yeah, we penetrated the systems or whatever," talking about that they install people in the positions of power.
and that was
So I think,
this billionaire guy saying that.
yeah, of the one of the billionaires that's funding this crazy movement or the Great Reset that's going on that nobody talks about. That only Glenn Beck that I've heard of talk about, and Alex Jones and stuff. you know. But this guy was on stage, like Joe Biden saying during the Ukraine interview where he talked about the getting that guy fired. It was the same thing. He was on stage with a mic talking about how they penetrated, certain institutions or whatever, and he was proud of that. That was one of his proud moments. So they have all these people that infiltrated our government, and we're seeing the results of it. All these crazy fucking policies that they're trying to pass. They're trying to slip it in all these port bills. Just a bunch of thousands of pages of nonsense that nobody can read in a day. You know what I mean? And they inject all this shit in there.
The
It's
way
like we're $30 trillion in debt now. It's fucking crazy.
that's what I'm saying, man. I think we reached a point of no return.
Yeah,
there's nowhere we cannot go back. We can't
I don't know
unless
how
there
we.
is a radical change. There has to be a radical change, but I don't think that that people would vote for it. People are not going to vote for that radical change. I don't think the majority of people would vote for that radical change because, again, I believe the vast majority of people in the United States are in that far left. Not on the far left. I'm being hyperbolic.
They're just on that. Yeah,
They're
they're on that.
more exactly. They're more willing to have someone. They're more willing to give responsibility to big government than to take
Take it.
responsibility on their own.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. They want a nanny state.
Dude,
They want to be taken care of.
exactly,
They want a ruler. They don't want freedom. They want security.
exactly.
But they're not gonna get either of them. But hey, like us freedom loving people, like that's what I'm saying. Like I think it's too early to get blackpilled because we haven't really done anything yet. I haven't seen any action taken. Now I hope it doesn't play out to it doesn't get to a point where no action is taken, period. Because then, okay, now we're at the point of no return and now we're fucked.
Dude, I
But
feel like that's where I feel. I feel like nothing is being done. It's
well,
just
that's what I'm
talk.
saying.
Biden is still there. How come he hasn't been
Yeah.
impeached?
Well, wait till that's why people are counting on the midterms right now. This year, this is the year
Why
where
do we
if
have to wait for the midterms? Why can't they just put in the articles now?
well, because
If it,
there's too many rhinos
well,
in the
so
Republican side that aren't going to vote for it,
do
like
you?
Ted Cruz and
But
everything.
dude, do you think that the Democrats honestly thought that they would impeach Donald Trump?
No,
That they would get him out of office?
it was all, what do you
They
call it?
knew they couldn't, right? They knew they wouldn't be able to get it done. They did it so that they could prove a point that
Yeah,
that there are consequences to things that we don't agree with.
he did it twice. Dude.
They did
I
it
mean,
twice, exactly.
gotta laugh at that. That's funny, dude. Fucking Trump.
So that leads me to think like, why don't Republicans do that to Biden? He's not going to get impeached, but why don't we do it, saying that there is a threat of it going? It's
Yeah,
like, I mean, the reason I carry a stick is because there's a possibility that another person could be carrying a stick. And if we're both carrying sticks, we don't want to use them against each other, right? I don't want someone to hit me with their stick, just as another person doesn't want me to hit me with my stick. Or the
yeah.
other person doesn't want me to hit them
I'm with
with
you.
my stick.
Yeah.
Yeah, back and forth. It's like that deterrent. So same thing. It's like, why don't we put the executive branch in check with at least the threat of an impeachment? Like, go through the process of an impeachment. Say, like, this can happen to you. We are willing to take uh, Kamala, Caramella, uh, stupid
Yeah,
lady.
yeah.
We're willing to take Wicked Witch of the West over you. Like, why don't we at
Uh,
least do that?
I don't know, man, because I think she's worse. She'd probably end up being worse. Damn, I don't know. I mean, that sucks, dude. But I see what you're saying, and my response to that was going to be, we have too many Republicans that are don't disturb the system, and they're the finger waggers. The right, they're a bunch of pussies, dude. There's only a few of them that are actually willing to take action, and they're shunned for it. Everyone else falls in line and they wag their finger. We're better than you. That they take the high road. That's why they don't ever take action. That's why I fucking hate the Republican Party. They're a bunch of fucking pussies, dude. And we need people like us that are more like we're more center, but we at least don't give a fuck. We'll be willing to take action to change things. I mean, I don't know, dude. We need to vote those people out and try to figure out who's going to be willing to actually take action and do things, make some changes, for our benefit because they're only helping each other. It's just one big cult, like one big what do you call it? George Carlin said it best, it's one giant club and we're not a part of it. It's like, and that could be extended to the billionaires or the really rich people, but I also think it applies to government as well. We're not in the club. They're supposed to be our representatives. They're supposed to be speaking on our behalf, working for us, but they're looking at us like we're their servants. We're the ones that are running the country by doing the labor and everything, and they're reaping the benefits. They're long term, lifetime politicians. They vote for all this nonsense that benefits them and their whoever it is that they're being bought out by. Like there's too much corruption. we're the ones getting screwed in the end. But people are complacent because of all the distractions, all the media, all the technology that we're stuck with. I mean, I love it, but I do see how bad it is and how that how bad it's been for society. Kaczynski was onto something, man. He was kind of right about it, but not entirely. But he was on the right track about how the power process. There's no incentive to actually go out and do things, accomplish stuff, because it's kind of just given to us.
Exactly.
It's kind of an interesting read, man. I'd recommend it.
No, man, I learned
Uh,
this from Warhammer. From
well,
Warhammer,
yeah, yeah,
they outlawed artificial intelligence because they knew that that would be the downfall of the society. No one thinking
yeah,
for themselves, just an algorithm thinking for everything, for everyone.
that's not a good thing.
But
But I mean, I don't know. I think there's a lot of purists out there that like to think still. So I don't think all is lost. I mean, people, humanity, we're resilient. We'll find a way. I mean, the world could go to shit and people will still survive, but I don't know. Only the strong will survive in the end. I mean, that's how it's always been.
yeah,
You know,
but I don't know. I feel as if the only way that this can get done, it's not. I don't think this will happen in our lifetime. It's going to
nah.
take multiple generations for this to change. But I think it has to change culturally,
Well,
and it has to
I mean,
change in the culture and education. Those are
I
the
would, I would have to disagree about it. It could happen in our lifetime because I mean, dude,
no. I
World
don't
War
think it
II
can.
was only around for like 5 or 6 years, but I mean, all the stuff that led up to it, like one big massive thing can happen, and that could change things. So I think it's possible we could see some drastic change, but I mean, it would have to take a really big event, like to stir up the shit where there's total chaos in our country, and then maybe in the aftermath, then we'll see some change. But I don't know, man. I wouldn't say never. Never say never, because fuck, dude, it could happen within the next 5 years for all we know.
No, man,
We could be on
because
the dude.
it can't. I don't. I think that timeline is impossible because think of how many people out there who just like the Matrix. Like think of how many people are plugged into the system. How many of them are going to change in a matter of 5 to 10 years?
None of them. I don't think none at all, unless
Uh,
they're exposed to something that kind of triggers some kind of
so
response, like some thinking response.
so that's what
You
I'm
know what I
saying.
mean?
Like so those people are out there and they're out there and they're having kids. How long is it going to take to change to 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 unplug their kids culturally and through education? It's going to take their lifetime, and then those kids, it's going to take their lifetime. It's that's what I'm saying, dude. I don't think people have realized how long the damage has been. This has been like a festering wound for the longest time. I don't know where it started. Maybe it started when like America first was established. Maybe this started back in the 1700s. I don't know. 1800s. I don't know. But this wound has been festering for so long. How long is it going to like I think it would take another 200 300 years for things to turn to change.
Hmm. Dude, that's even if the country's still around.
Yeah.
If we don't implode and self destruct,
But again,
or
that, I could be totally wrong. I'm just thinking about this the way that I think about this from the things that I've been exposed to, and I hope I'm wrong, but I honestly it sucks because I understand, and that understanding is useless. You know what I mean? Like you understand what the problem is, you can empathize, you can see someone else's point of view, and all of that information, all of that knowledge, all of that understanding is absolutely useless. You can't do anything with it. You can expose somebody to something, but at the end of the day, that other person, and that's something that people forget too. In order for something to change, first it has to be willing to change. Right? Have you ever like tried to learn something that you don't want to learn? How fucking hard it is to learn something that you don't want to learn?
yeah,
It's
I
extremely
think
hard. It's
because you
ex-
don't want to fucking learn it.
you don't want to learn it, right? It's hard. So
Yeah.
in order for you to first learn it, you have to want to learn it. Same thing for change. In order for people to change, first they have to want to change. People don't want to change right now, man. Life is too good for them right now. Like you said, man, you just push some buttons on your phone and you got food coming to you.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait
Those
in line anymore.
Mhm. Everything is handed to them, which is a nice convenience, but it can also be a very, very bad thing for society. I agree.
It is a bad
But
thing. It is a bad thing. Everyone has a car. No one walks anymore. Everyone has a car.
everyone's all fat and overweight.
Yeah.
Damn it.
No
Like,
one, everyone looks for coupons. Have you noticed that too? That's like part of it too. That's what bothers me. I went to the store the other day. I forgot which store I went to. What's that one? I forgot the name. It's where they sell the soaps and stuff. Um,
oh, like Bath and Body
yeah,
Works or
there you go.
something.
I always get them confused with Bed Bath and Beyond. I don't know
Yeah.
why, but the one that sells the soaps, the Body Works. I like the soaps that they have, that the foamy ones. I don't know why. I like them. So I
Mm,
went and I bought like I don't know how many I bought. It was like 10 of them or something. I just bought a whole bunch. And I went and they said, "Oh, do you have this and that? We have a special on this." Like, no, no, no. Just charge me what they cost. I don't want no coupons. I don't want to save this and that or whatever. Like, you guys are gonna go out of business. Like, just I want this product. I want this product. I enjoy this product. So I want to pay for it.
take my money. No.
Exactly. Like, here I'm making the choice. I'm making the willful choice to buy this, not under any certain special condition that only if you give me a coupon. It's like, no, I don't buy things because they're on sale. I buy them because I want them. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, I do the same thing. I don't care what it costs. If I want it, I'm gonna fucking buy it.
Yeah, it's like I pay full price for it. I don't care like these stupid discount codes and all this stuff. Like,
Yeah,
no,
same
pay
here.
full price. I believe in this product. I want this product. If the product ends up sucking, it's like, oh well, whatever. Like,
Yeah,
people
life goes on.
yeah, and it's because I believe that people are fixated on the idea of winning and losing. They don't want to be a loser. They don't want to be they don't want to be caught as a sucker. And their ego can't take it. They want to try to get the best deal possible and try not to look like an idiot as few times as possible. They're not willing to say like, man, I paid $100 for it and it ended up being a piece of shit. And then it coming back to them and be like, man, you're such an idiot for paying for it. They can't handle that. Whereas me, it's like, I bought this thing. It's like $300 and it just crapped out. I was like, man, you got screwed real good. And I'm like, yeah, I screwed up. Like,
Yeah,
what can I do? I mean, oh well, live and learn, I guess. But there's people out there that they can't handle that. They can't handle the stress of being wrong, of
yeah,
making a
dude.
mistake.
I can speak from experience because I live with some person that, little youngster that's kind of like exactly like that. He cannot handle losing. He gets really mad and emotional, man. Like he doesn't know how to lose.
That's why I was
And
there that day. I don't even remember that
oh shit,
we were playing fighting games one time. I think we were at your apartment. I don't know where we were at. I don't know if we were at your new house though. Maybe we were at your house. I don't remember. But he was there and we were playing Street Fighter and I was telling him, "You're going to learn. You're going to learn that you don't do things your way. You have to do things a certain way in order for you to win."
yeah.
I don't know if you remember that. He was
Oh no, I really don't. It was a while back.
we were playing Street Fighter and I forgot what he was playing, but I wouldn't let him do anything. I just had him ball rogged and I'd knock him down and I would just go up to him and he was just waking up pushing buttons and I would just get him with those meaty hits.
Yeah.
And I was just back and forth, just back and forth, just like, you're gonna learn, boy. Like, some games are fun, but there's other games that that teach you a lesson.
Yeah, they're gonna teach you a hard lesson. Shit. But I mean, yeah, dude, this is well, shit. That's a lot of the generation we grew up during the participation trophy era. We were the participation trophy era, I think, right? Or
I think
maybe it started a little bit before us. But I
I
want to
don't know.
say it was
I
generation.
remember when I was growing up. I remember I had gotten like fifth place or fourth place in like some sort of track meet or something, and they gave medals all the way up to 10th place, and I
Oh
thought that
my
was so weird.
god.
I'm like, what? Like I've never seen that before, but I think that's when it started.
Yeah, that's where I mean, shit, I can recall that. And that's the problem, man. Like, by us playing video games, we learned to take our licks because Nintendo was brutal. They didn't games were hard. even for our age, like for little kids, these games are kind of brutal. Playing them as an adult now, it's like, fuck, this was a hard game. Can't believe I got through it. But we persevere. We pushed through it. We learned. We figured things out. And we got through it, right? But and sure we got frustrated. I'm sure we threw a controller or two, punched the wall. I mean, it happens. That's just sometimes it just we let it get the better of us, but we got through it. And it made us stronger, I think. And able to handle that kind of rage or situation when it comes up. Not to get angry, to keep your cool. It can teach all these things. But these generations, they never really got challenged that way, or who knows what they did with their spare time. But they were never challenged, or whenever they were challenged, they would quit. They would give up right away, or if they got their ass kicked or whatever it was they were doing, yeah, that's it, I'm done. And I've seen that many a time. I mean, it also comes down to the character of the person. Like me, I'm very persistent. If I'm doing something and I keep failing at it, I'm gonna keep trying until I finally succeed. I feel probably the same way I would act in a fight. If I'm not knocked out, I'm gonna keep getting back up until you kill me. You know, and that's how I feel. Like I'll just keep going and going. And same thing with running and working out. I'm the same way. Like I'll just keep on going because I feel like I don't know. I'm very persistent, but some people they're very weak minded. I guess I don't know. They just or they're really quick to just give up at the very, whenever things get tough, they just can't handle it. They tap out. Like, yeah, I don't know. Society, the parents. I don't know, man. I'm not a psychologist, so I couldn't really delve into that. But
It's a combination of things. It has to be a combination of things. It can't just be one thing.
yeah,
I
I'm
think it's a
pretty sure.
combination of things. No, I think this was like a good episode jumping back into it. We should see what happens. What's today? Saturday. We need to see what happens tomorrow, Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah,
See if anything actually goes down, and that'll give us a little bit something to update on. But I think this is a good thing to jump back on because I feel like this is a very I want to use the word pertinent, but I don't know, that doesn't sound right. This sounds like something this topic is actually something that I'm pretty sure a lot of people are talking about right now, so it's very relevant to actually issues that are going on right now.
or current events.
Yeah, like
Man,
we're getting two opposite sides clashing, and it's like, how did we get here?
I don't think it's not good to be black-pilled, and I mean it's also not good to be overly hopeful because shit, it'll breed disappointment. But I was gonna say, like, we haven't really started to fight back yet. I mean, we're starting to see some pushback here and there, and that's a good thing. So never give up. Hope I think things will swing back the other way because this can't go on forever. People are starting to get very sick of it. Even the people that are apolitical, that don't really pay attention to things, that are kind of like in their right mind, that have a brain, they're starting to see the effects on their life. I'm sure their grocery bills have spiked. Their gas is definitely not lasting as long.
Yeah,
So they're starting to notice these changes that are now affecting them, and I'm pretty sure it's waking them up. And they're going to ask some questions: Why is this happening? Who's doing this? Who's responsible for this?
yeah, I think
So
you're right. I mean, I think you're right. It makes a whole lot of sense. There's just something in my brain, something telling me, having that negativity for, I don't know, maybe it's my
yeah,
depression or something, but that's my problem.
don't be too cynical. I mean, it can be because you see the stupidity of people, and you're just like, man, is there any hope for humanity? But there's also a lot of smart people. But I think those people are usually the non-confrontational type. They'd rather stay away from problems and jump right into the fray,
Yeah, and
which
that's
is not good.
and
Like,
and you're
not
absolutely
good.
right. I feel I can absolutely see that I'm putting, like, I'm not just focusing, I'm putting like hyper focus on the negative.
Yeah,
And
like you got to, yeah, kind of take a step back a little bit. Like, yeah, because I mean, if you do hyper focus the way you are, it's very easy to just be like, it's over. You
exactly.
know, it's over. It's done. Yeah, I can't do nothing. No, it's not over, man. We haven't even fought back yet. Nobody's really done anything except for the Canadians. They're the only ones that are kind of leading the charge now with this freedom conflict, which is a very good thing. And now we're starting to see traction here in our country.
But I had
So
talked
hopefully
about
they.
this for a while. I had talked about this though in another episode, that I think that I don't know if we would ever have a convoy like this in the United States, because I don't know if you would know this, but I'm not too familiar with Canada. Canada doesn't really have states like we do, right? Like Canada is they all follow basically like the federal law, right?
Yeah, provinces, don't they, or something like
But
that? Or I don't know.
does
I'm not
each
familiar.
province have like their own set of laws, their own set of rules?
Like our
Like
each state has their own constitution type
exactly,
deal.
exactly, yeah. Do
I don't know. I think they all have one constitution, but I don't know, man. I'm not familiar with their system.
well, I'm not an expert by all means at all. Like I haven't. I'm so lazy. I haven't even looked into it. It'd just be a quick Google search. But like to my
Yeah.
understanding, that Canada doesn't have like we have with states. So there's really no one to. I don't think enough people are feeling the pressure of these COVID restrictions and all of these mandates and everything like that, because we have Florida, we have Texas, we have
Mm.
all these other states that are pretty much like, yeah, no mandates. Like you're encouraged to wear a mask. You're encouraged to go out and get your vaccine. You can go do all that, but if you don't want to, we're not enforcing any laws.
It's your choice.
It's your
You know the
choice,
way.
exactly the way it should be. Like it's our choice. But I don't
The
think
people,
so. So you have people from California moving to Texas, moving to Arizona, moving to all these other places, and and people have the ability to go to a place that aligns more with their beliefs. And I don't think they have that in Canada. So it's a little bit rougher on them because they don't have that freedom to just say, hey, man, I live in, I can't think of an example right now. Like, oh, I live in New York. It's rough over here, and they all these mandates and stuff like that. I'm gonna drive down to Virginia and and just set up shop over there because I don't like I don't like what's going on with over here. And so they go and they move, and that's it. Crisis averted. I don't think they have that choice in Canada.
yeah, I see what you mean. Like, yeah, each state has their own rules basically, and we've told the federal government to fuck off since almost day one. I mean, it took us a little bit, but I mean, it was in the first year they got rid of the mandates and all that, right? Or they never imposed them. I can't remember, but I
I
know,
know some places imposed them, but Texas, I know Texas because that's where we live. In Texas, they didn't enforce any mandates. They made it so that you cannot enforce mandates. At least in even in public schools, it's like
yeah,
they say that masks are encouraged. It doesn't say that you're required. No one has ever like people can't be kicked out of places for not wearing a mask or anything like that.
they also left it up to the businesses, didn't they?
Well, yeah, that's the thing
Oh,
too. I mean, if
yeah,
you have a business, you can have whatever you want, just like, no smoking or you can't carry a gun in there or, no outside food drinks, whatever. It applies just like anything else with like a business. But I mean, we're
yeah.
talking like we're talking like public places. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
it cannot be mandated. But no, man, I want to say like the mask mandate. I want to say Abbott made it. You cannot have a mask mandate. Like
yeah.
you cannot enforce a mask. I would need to look it up again because I want to say, if I remember correctly, Abbott put a law into place or an executive order or something like that saying that you could not force people to wear masks.
Yeah, that caused a lot of all the lawbirds to come out saying, "What my private business?"
Yeah, I
Like,
think so. Maybe.
yeah, no, they did. They came out. Well, what happened to my private business? It's like, yeah, I mean, I get it, but whatever, man. You can't win it all, right? It's like you either all for complete liberty, or I don't know. There's no in between with some people. It's like I don't know, but it is kind of tricky because it's like by Abbott doing that, yeah, he did overstep the bounds of the government. You know, government telling business how to run or to do it. Isn't that a violation of the 10th or whatever or ninth? I don't remember which one it is. I need to learn my shit again. But you know, government and business are separate. You know, government can't tell businesses what to do. In that regard or whatever.
Yeah, I don't
But
know
he
that.
did it, and a lot of people came out and say, hey, that's not right. He can't do that. But I
Yeah,
mean, damn,
either way, I don't think it mattered because it's like if someone who doesn't want to wear a mask is going into an establishment and they're saying, "Hey, you need to wear a mask when you're in here," I'm pretty sure they wouldn't stay. They would kind of like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I'll just take my business somewhere else."
Yeah, I do that. Whenever I still run into certain areas here that are certain stores that have a mask requirement. It's usually restaurants, Mexican restaurants. They're all about that COVID shit and they believe in it and all that.
Yeah,
Or they're very paranoid, so some of them still enforce it. I'm just like, oh fuck, I get to the door, oh mask required. Oh well, taking my money somewhere else.
yeah,
You know,
that makes
it
sense.
sucks. It's kind of like, man, that sucks because I like their enchiladas, man. But oh well, fuck it, I'll go somewhere else then. They lost my business. And same thing with Pokey's Planet, man. I was buying wraps or whatever, and I'm like, man. Then one day I go in the door, like, oh, we require the mask. This is when the Omicron shit started popping up again, or when it was fresh, and it was like, oh, it's super contagious, and da, 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 and then people started getting all paranoid again. And then I go and I'm like, oh man, that sucks, because they had these particular wraps I enjoyed buying or whatever, and I was like, man. So I ended up ordering it online. I came in a couple days, and I was like, all right, cool. I just order my shit online now. Fuck it. They
That's
lost
what
my
they
business.
want you to do. They want to destroy small business so that you're just slave to, to Daddy Bezos.
Hey, but that's the business's fault. They're the ones enforcing that shit. I was like up until recent,
No,
I
you're
was going.
wrong. You're wrong because you're not supporting your small business. You should do whatever you need to do. Put
He's fine.
whatever into your butt, whatever you need to put into your butt to support your small business.
No, I'm gonna go where freedom is reign. Like I don't want to be in the authoritarian nonsense. Get the fuck out of here with that.
Yeah,
No
I
way.
want to do what I want and
Exactly.
buy with
I do
what I
that.
want from whoever I want.
Exactly. I don't listen to nobody. I do my own shit. That's why, like, I don't know. I'm not a follower. I'm not a leader either, but I'm not a follower. I don't fucking go with the flow. I do my own thing. I go against the grain.
Yeah, but that's the problem. We have too many people who are lockstep and
Yeah,
they're not willing to go down that path.
dude, it's
We could keep
so
on going though,
frustrating.
man. We could
I
keep
know,
on
I know.
going
I
and
was
going and
gonna, I
going.
was gonna go right now, dude. Like, I was gonna talk about my coworkers because they're all in lockstep, and I'm the only like rebel, I guess. I'm the one that's like, man, fuck all that shit, dude. It's so cringy hearing them. Oh yeah, I'm going in for my booster. Oh yeah, did you hear about all the COVID infections? And I'm all there, like, dude, I've only been sick one time, and that was back in August of 2020, more or less around that time, and I have not been sick since. I'm unvaccinated. I've never done a fucking test. I don't wear my stupid mask. I've never worn it properly. What the fuck? I was only sick for a day too. I mean, either I'm lucky, or according to these lefties' logic, I should have been dead a long time ago, or this whole thing is fake. You pick one. You know what I mean?
Or you're lying. I
Whatever.
think it's possible that you could be
Yeah,
lying just to
yeah,
push a
right.
narrative, a false narrative
Like, like
of the
to read the
deadliness
facts.
of the COVID vaccine
Dude,
virus.
I've taken 5 vaccines and shit. I've gotten COVID 10 times already. Like, dude, it's
I
ridiculous,
don't even
man.
have
Like,
real lungs anymore. They're like fake lungs that cannot be infected with COVID.
they can be because I'm a smoker. Did you hear about that? There was a stupid study that says smokers were less likely to get COVID,
Oh wow.
and I was yeah, that was kind of funny, man. I'm a smoker,
That was just
uh,
that was like some sort of inside job from the cigarette companies or something
right?
trying to get
Right?
people to
Well,
smoke more
I mean,
cigarettes.
I ain't smoking cigarettes though, but like still,
Smoking
so
9 out of 10 COVID doctors approve this message.
10 out of 10, just 10 out of 10 COVID doctors approve, man. That this
Cigarettes
stuff
are
right
good
here,
to prevent COVID. Oh man. No,
yeah,
I think
man.
this was a good episode to come back on,
This is
talking about the downfall of society and the we just talked about the truckers a little bit, but that's about it.
yeah,
But
man.
I think most of this episode we just talked mostly about the downfall of society.
Kind of sad, man. I mean, but not don't give up. We haven't fought back yet. I haven't seen too much action from the right. I think things need to get a little more uncomfortable before more people are getting pissed. Because like you see parents at teacher meetings at schools, they're pissed off about
Yeah,
what their kids are being taught in certain states. That critical race theory. Like people are starting to notice, and they're starting to get a little pissed off, and I'm seeing it. But I
yeah,
mean, I don't know. We'll see, right? We'll see.
yeah. We'll see what this later weeks like things coming up because the mask is off, and I feel as if the there is more pushback being given to authority, and I think that's the little bit of the fight back that people need to see, that hey, we still have these rights, we still have the ability to tell our government no, we don't like what
Yeah,
you're doing and you need to change it. So we need to see
we've
what
always
happens.
had that power, man.
Yeah, we need people. I think people are going to be reminded of that within these next few, at least within this presidency, and we'll see. Hopefully, maybe sooner with the midterms coming up this year, and hopefully see how everything goes. But let's go. Let's get
We'll
to
see.
ending this. Let's get to ending this one, and that way we can save for next week. Hopefully we get the Slanted Scholar back for next week, and we can have more conversations about COVID. And I don't know, man. I feel like COVID's dying. I think everyone's done with COVID.
It, dude, it's gonna be done next month. I think Biden, once he gives his State of the Union next month, he's gonna announce they're gonna relax the lockdowns and mandates and all that. Just watch. It's
Yeah.
gonna
So
end this year
well,
because
we'll
midterm, they have nothing to run on. They have nothing to run on, man.
so hopefully we'll touch back on that next week. We'll see what happens. But yeah, guys, this has been Slamfire. Check us out on slamfiremedia.com. We got all our videos on BitChute, YouTube, and Rumble, so you can choose whichever video platform site you want. We're also on Gab. We're not using Twitter or anything like that, or what's that other one? Getter. Uh,
Get her, gay, dude. I'll get
and
her.
there you go. I didn't even consult with the scholar on this one because I knew what he was thinking. I knew we went with Gab, and Gab's it's pretty
Yeah,
legit. I,
dude.
I really
Gab's
enjoy it.
legit.
So check us
I
out on
heard
Gab
the
at Slamfire Media for Gab. But yeah, you're saying?
no, I was saying I agree. Gab is cool. I heard the creator Gab talk, and I'm like, you know what? This guy has exactly like if I had the money to build something, that is exactly what I would have built.
Yeah, yeah. I was the same way too. I'm very apprehensive about believing what someone says, but I felt like, I mean, it's there. Let's see if he puts his money where his mouth is, and it seems like he is. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he spoke. He basically mirrored everything I had thought. Like, man, if I had money, I would build this kind of platform. And this guy spoke everything I had thought about. Like, not saying it was my idea, but like, man, we had very, very similar ideas of freedom and all that stuff. And I was like, man, that's dope.
yeah,
So it's something to be optimistic about.
yeah, guys. So check us out there. Thank you for tuning in. You guys take it easy.
Peace.